Greater monitoring of the tourism sector for breaches of COVID-19 protocols. A Montego Bay councillor made the call while warning the authorities of a possible backlash for the seeming double standard in enforcing the Disaster Risk Management Act. Krista Campbell has the details.
Jamaicans running from the police, being led away in handcuffs, and even prosecuted in the courts. Health authorities and the police have made good on their promise to clamp down on those who continue to breach COVID protocols. But is there a double standard? Councillor for Montego Bay Northeast, Charles Sinclair, insists there is. Fresh from a recent hotel stay, he shared his concerns at the latest St. James Municipal Corporation meeting.
All the guests that I saw in the public space walking up and down on the property were not wearing masks. And a concern that comes from persons who work in the sector is that they are somewhat timid in asking the guests to wear their masks.
He says hotel staff were compliant and there were signs all over the facility encouraging adherence to the COVID protocols. But he questioned whether the authorities were doing enough to monitor the breaches he insists continue to happen at hotels and other tourist facilities.
It is something that we saw over the Christmas holidays, going into New Year's, where certain things that were done in hotels didn't seem to be a bother. And it is after the December period that we saw this increase in the COVID cases.
The Deputy Chief Public Health Inspector insisted her team makes frequent visits.
Persons will come in, they will say that they are fully vaccinated, so they don't see the importance of wearing the mask. So we have to be there to continue to tell them that even if so be the case, our protocol here locally is that all persons must wear their masks.
Still, Councillor Sinclair says too many COVID breaches continue to happen in the tourist sector, which he thinks are not strictly policed as other parts of the island are. He made reference to the party boat which capsized in Negril, Westmoreland 2 weeks ago.
And all you can't hear is who's vessel. You hear that person's out to be prosecuted, somebody's to be prosecuted for breaching the Tourist Board Act. And you don't see who that person is. Person is not named. The person has been questioned by the police. They say, but you have not heard of the fact of prosecution and when that person is going to court.
Krista Campbell, TVJ News.
Welcome back. We're continuing the news. 5 members of Westmoreland-based Kings Valley Gang have been charged for various crimes, including murder and armed robbery under the anti-gang legislation. The new charges followed several of the gang's members being freed last July for lack of evidence.
Deputy Commissioner of Police Fitz Bailey says the new charges and arrest of members of the Kings Valley Gang from Westmoreland happened after the men were acquitted of charges under the anti-gang legislation last July. He says 7 suspects were arrested after a joint police operation. 5 have since been charged with being a part of a criminal organization.
The persons arrested are Kevin Christopher Wilson, OC Bamson, 38 years old, waiter of Kings Valley; Kenisha Shanice Moody, 19 years old. Miss Moody is a girlfriend of the Kings Valley gang leader, Derval Williams, OC Lukey, and she was arrested at Lukey's residence. A subsequent search of the premises was conducted in which 15 9mm ammunitions and 9.38 ammunition were found in Miss Moody's purse. Miss Moody was subsequently arrested and charged for illegal possession of ammunition. Our investigation has also revealed that Miss Moody was acting on behalf of Williams in the sale of guns and ammunition.
Orville Orlando Jones, OC Bigger, Joel Rankin, O.C. Anderson, and Jeremy Lindo were also arrested. DCP Bailey says they committed crimes under the instruction of the Kings Valley gang leader Derval Williams, O.C. Lukey, who has been remanded for charges of proposing and conspiring to murder.
The crimes identified include murder, shooting and wounding with intent, burglary, robbery, extortion, larceny of motor vehicle, illegal possession of firearm, and illegal possession of ammunition.
A businessman was also charged in relation to having stolen vehicle in his possession.
5 motor vehicles were seized from this particular business, which were stolen during incidents of murder, shooting, or robberies. Big Yard Auto Parts and its owner, Ted Robinson, was charged with 5 counts of unlawful possession of property and receiving stolen property, among other charges.
The police are also searching for other members of the gang. Kirk Wright, TVJ News.
Clarendon residents are being warned to stay away from gangs. The appeal comes amidst an increase in the recruitment of women into criminal gangs. Cody-Ann Barrett reports.
The Clarendon police seized this 9mm Taurus pistol during an operation in the Long Gully community in Effortville. Over 20 houses were targeted in the operation. 15 people were taken into custody in relation to the gun and ammunition seizure. Head of operations for the Clarendon Police, Superintendent Christopher Phillips, said the arrest in Effortville add to the trend on how gangsters are recruiting.
We also observe that there's an increase in females' involvement in these kind of organized gang activities taking place in the communities. So we want to appeal to persons to be very mindful not to get caught up in these.
The police say the masterminds and gangs are starting to find more roles for women.
Most times during the investigations and you're doing the assessment on intelligence, you recognize that the females are playing a very active role within these gangs. We might not have enough to hold them sometimes, but there are indications that they are actively involved.
The security forces have arrested or neutralized several of the parish's major crime producers, and that is beginning to have an impact on the crime levels in communities.
In terms of major crimes, the figures going down, we still not comfortable, and we're going to continue to press on to focus heavily on gangsters operating in Clarendon. So persons who consider themselves gangsters operating in Clarendon during this time, just know that we're going to come at you.
Cody-Ann Barrett, TVJ News.
A major manhunt has been launched for a man believed to be responsible for setting his common-law wife and her business establishment on fire in Hanover. The woman remains hospitalized in critical condition after escaping the burning building with the help of residents. Anthony Lugg has the details.
Residents of Great River, Hanover, providing assistance to Nicola Clark moments after she was dosed with a chemical and allegedly set on fire by her common-law husband Wednesday evening. It's reported that about 5 p.m., the two had an argument when the man left and returned with a container said to contain gasoline. We're told that he threw it on Miss Clark as well as inside her shop. He then used a lighter to set both ablaze. Residents in the community are livid.
But remember, they have a mother, and when they do this thing, they must pay for it, put to justice.
Oh, we can't feel good if we know our neighbor. Over there, something living, man. So as I wake up and mama, I see cross the road. You see it?
Jenny,
yeah.
She very
man.
Lovely.
So, everyone we are so go feel, because. Right now, I mind the man when I fire to, because the man light him and run gone, and the man can't find it.
The police have since listed Emron Pilinar, otherwise called Robert Pilinar, or Tyrant, as a person of interest. He's wanted for questioning in connection with the injuries sustained by his girlfriend. Mr. Pilinar is said to frequent the communities of Russia and Burnt Savannah in Westmoreland. While the police continue their investigations into Wednesday's attack, Miss Clark remains hospitalized in critical condition. she's being treated for severe burns all over her body.
I'm sorry to hear, and I give my sympathy to her. And he might recover, you know.
The attacks on Miss Clark comes on the heels of a spate of domestic violence incidents.
No matter what you and a woman have, it better you separate and you go your business. I mean, definitely not support that. That's all I have to say.
Anthony Log, TVJ News.
Jamaica College dethroned Kingston College to notch their 22nd title as they took the lead and pulled away to win by 15.5 points on the final day of the Issa Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships at the National Stadium. Jordan Ford tells us how they did it.
With 18 finals for boys scheduled for the final day, Jamaica College knew they had to overhaul an 8.5 point gap to defending champions Kingston College, but it was JC who were stronger on the day. Mark Anthony Miller got the day going for JC, winning the Class 2 boys 400 meters in 47.35 seconds. That may have spurred on Javier Brown, who capped off a fantastic championships, adding the 400 to his 400 hurdle success, clocking 45.95 seconds.
Bembridge is fighting back. Javier Brown of Jamaica College is a double gold medalist. 45.76 seconds.
Then came the strong events for JC, the 800 meters. After getting 3rd and 4th in Class 3, the boys from Old Hope Road bagged gold and silver in Class 2, with Camario Bygrave winning and Candale Frew running a stirring last few meters for silver. But spoiling the JC party in Class 1 was one of the performance of the championships, Edwin Allen's Shavoni Hall, who capped the 800-1500 meter double after clocking a record 1 minute 48.58 seconds to take the two-lap event.
This season, he probably won't get back to the field. Shavoni Hall from Edwin Allen has gone and has stole the show from the corporate era teams. He has won the 15, now won the 8, 148.57. Oh, wow! The record has been broken here. It was set in 2019 by Farquharson from Calabar. It now heads to Clarendon with Hall.
Jamaica College also won the Class 2 4x100s with a speedy 40.47 seconds, anchored by Christopher Scott. JC actually crossed the line first in the final race of these championships, the 4x400 meters.
Championships in golden fashion.
But were later disqualified, meaning Calabar were promoted to the gold, Edwin Allen the silver, and Homewood Technical the bronze.
Words cannot express, you know. By nature I'm 5 feet 11 inches, and this evening I'm feeling like 11 feet 5 inches. It has been a very challenging season, the pandemic, but history have a way of repeating itself. In 1918, we had what we call the Spanish flu. And in 1919, you also had the Spanish flu. JC won the championship those 2 years. And now it's coronavirus, and JC win. To God be the glory.
And so the Mortimer Geddes Trophy has switched hands for the second time in successive championships as Jamaica College emerge champions of the 2021 edition. Reporting from the National Stadium for TVJ Sports, I'm Jordan Fort.